I love being an American. I love this country. I love the people in it. I love the land, the history, the sacrifices that have been made here. This ain't an attack on America, and it's not propaganda. This is a question. Somewhere along the way, we started confusing consumption with freedom. We were told that buying more and wanting more and upgrading more, that was liberty. That if you can choose between brands, you can scroll endlessly and chase comfort without limit, then you must be free. But that idea didn't come from love of our country. It came from a system that benefits when people never stop consuming. So what I'm going to question here today ain't America. It's whether we were sold a version of freedom that keeps us distracted instead of fulfilled. Because loving your country don't mean you stop thinking. Sometimes it means you finally start asking better questions. They used to wave flags around. They used to shoot fireworks, and they used to talk about freedom like it meant something to you and to me. Look around you now. Ain't nobody celebrating. There ain't nobody proud. Nobody's even pretending anymore. The word freedom is still out here getting thrown around, but there ain't nobody actually feels free. Not the right wing, not the left wing, not the religious and not the secular. Everybody's angry. Everyone's tense. Everybody's watching the door. Because when a system starts cracking, the illusion starts slipping. And suddenly the question ain't which side are you on. The question becomes, were you ever free to begin with? Because look at the choices that you have been given. You can choose this side or you can choose that side. You can choose this party or that party. This identity or that identity. But you're never allowed to question the system itself. You're allowed to argue inside the cage, just not point out the bars. They give you the feeling of agency without the reality of it. 1,000 options, all pointing in the same direction. Work, consume, compete, distract. Call it choice. But if every road leads to the same destination, that ain't freedom. That's choreography. They told you that this was the land of liberty. They told you that you were independent. They told you that nobody owns you. But here you are. You're watched, you're tracked, categorized, divided, labeled, afraid to speak freely, afraid to stand still, afraid to say the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. This don't feel like freedom. This feels like a cage with Wi-Fi. And the strangest part, the door ain't even locked. You can leave. I can leave. In theory. But leaving costs you. You speak too clearly and you lose opportunities. You stand too firmly and you lose access. Refuse to play along and you lose protection. Nobody has to force you to do anything. You police yourselves. You soften your words. You edit your thoughts. You rehearse your opinions before you say them to anybody. Not because you're weak, but because you learned the price. That's exactly how modern control works. It doesn't crush you and it don't crush me. It conditions us. It teaches us which thoughts that we have are safe and which questions are problematic and which truths are better left unspoken and quiet until eventually our silence feels like survival and obedience starts to feel like we're being mature. We ain't enslaved by chains, we're enslaved by compliance, by paperwork, by policies, by systems that decide who belongs and who don't, often without any explanation. We don't even know the rules anymore. They change too fast. And whenever power shifts, we don't cheer about it anymore. We brace for impact. Because deep down, everybody knows a system that can protect us today can turn on us tomorrow. So we keep our head down. We scroll. We distract ourselves. We ignore. Because thinking too deeply about anything starts to feel dangerous. Ask yourself, why is freedom the word they sell so hard? Think about it. Freedom is supposed to mean natural, uncontrolled, unfiltered, the real you, the real me. When they point to this society and they say, this is what freedom looks like, they are making a claim. They're telling us this is humanity without restraint. This is people left to themselves, the truest expression of who we are. If that were true, emptiness would be natural, addiction would be normal, loneliness would be expected, families breaking would be inevitable, and all those things are happening. Despair is just part of the human condition now. That's the trick. Because once you believe that decay is natural and the human nature, you stop resisting. You stop questioning it. You stop imagining anything higher. You start blaming yourself instead of blaming the system. You start calling corruption a choice and slavery personal freedom. This ain't organic, it's engineered. We wasn't left alone. We've been handled, shaped, directed, conditioned. We've been given endless distractions, never any kind of meaning. We are given constant stimulation, but we ain't ever given any peace. You're allowed to explore every surface, but never the depths of the ocean. And when your soul starts starving, they tell you that it's normal. When your chest feels hollow, they tell you it's just life. When something feels wrong, they tell you this is what freedom costs. No, this ain't freedom. This is what happens when people are cut off from purpose and then blamed for bleeding. You think you escaped Pharaoh, but now you bow to Pharaoh 2.0. Not a single ruler, but an ever-moving, ever-evolving machine. A system with no face and no mercy. A system that don't need loyalty, it only needs your silence. It doesn't ask you to believe in it, it just asks you to obey. Smile, go to work, consume, repeat. And when people disappear from the conversation, you're told that it's just policy. When families are ripped apart, you're told that it's law. When fear becomes normal, you're told it's safety. But tell me something and think about it deep. If you are truly free, why does your chest feel tight? If you're truly independent, why does everything feel conditional? Why are you looking over your shoulder, your job, your speech, your bank account, your status? Pulled, paused, reviewed. What good is a passport if your soul still belongs to fear? What good is citizenship if you live walking on eggshells? Because real slavery ain't chains on the wrists. It's fear in the heart. Fear's the currency now. Not gold, not oil, not who you vote for. Fear. Fear keeps people compliant. Fear keeps people divided. Fear keeps people exhausted. Afraid to lose what little they have. Afraid to be seen as being a problem. Afraid to fall out of favor with everybody. That's why everything feels fragile. One wrong move, one wrong word, one wrong post, and suddenly your whole life is under review. A free person don't live like that. A free person don't wake up bracing for consequences that they don't even understand. That ain't dignity. That's hostage living. Fear of losing status. Fear of being labeled. Fear of being targeted. Fear of stepping out of line. Everybody serves something. Some people serve the state. Some people serve the market. Some serve their desires, and some of us serve comfort. But service is unavoidable, no matter who you are. The only question is whether your master is temporary or eternal. Real freedom was never promised by governments. No empire in history has ever been able to deliver it forever. Rome promised peace. It delivered control. Every system promises order. They all demand obedience. Real freedom was always something deeper, something quieter, something the powerful cannot confiscate. Real freedom is knowing exactly who you serve and choosing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anyway. La ilaha illallah. There is no God, no authority, no power, no system, no fear, except the one who owns the kings and outlives the empires. It's bowing when nobody is watching, saying, Ya Allah, when the world wants your loyalty, your silence, and your submission. It's choosing obedience to God over obedience to fear. Because when the world tightens its grip, the believer loses his. And when the system starts revealing their limits, Islam reminds you, your freedom was never theirs to give, and it was never theirs to take. Ask yourself these questions. Look at your life and who you serve. Really introspect. Really dissect your thoughts, your patterns, your habits, and come to the conclusion for yourself. Am I serving mankind or am I serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We're placed in a society today where our choice is taken from us under the illusion of freedom. If you have to submit, why not submit to the one who gives you breath, who allows your heart to beat, who allows your children's heart to beat all day, every day, the one who gives life, the one who takes life? What are we doing anymore? Who are we serving? Ask yourself these things. Put yourself to the test. Where's your eternity headed? That's all I got to say about it.